Welcome to Scofield Farm. My name is Carice, and we are located in Northern California, just outside the second sunniest city in the country. And right now I am finally cleaning up, processing my garlic. As you can see right here, here's some that I've done. These are hardneck garlic. I totally am blanking on how much the harvest was. I think we had around 100, I think it was 100, 120. I have to look back at my notes. I think it was 100 hardneck garlic that we harvested. I can put a link to that video below. And I just wanted to chat with you guys today. There might be a little background noise with this. As I clean these up, I cut them. I've got about 2 inches I'm leaving there so that, because they always say to leave about 2 inches of the stem on hardneck. Why? It's probably a moisture thing, but these have pretty much dried out. They were on a shelf, like a wire shoe shelf that I bought off Marketplace several years ago at like an estate sale. And I let them dry out. I had them outside in the shade only for a couple days, but then our temps skyrocketed to like, not just triple digits, but like 114. I think on Saturday it was 114. So I brought them inside. We don't keep our house overly cool and we're not very humid. We're like a super dry climate. So they mostly dried out inside. In fact, let me show you these shelves. It was such a great deal. I want to say I paid like $5 a piece for them. It might have been $7, but I think it could have been as cheap as $5. It was several years ago, but let me show you, because this is the kind of thing you could get to help your gardening and homesteading that you don't have to buy new. You can find this kind of thing on places like Marketplace, Craigslist, very easily to make gardening more affordable. And let me show you it. Okay, this is one of them. This is the one I'm working off right now that is hardneck. And it's just like a really basic wire shoe shelf. I also put onions to cure on top of our dog crate. That's another idea that gives them like the air circulation they need. I don't know about you, but I'm always looking for ways to make growing food more affordable. And anytime that we can repurpose something, give it a second life, not have to purchase new, it is totally attractive to me, because having 7 kids is expensive, homesteading is expensive, and I like to keep things out of landfills if possible. I mean, some things could be broken beyond repair, but when you have a shelf that's perfectly fine that someone's trying to get rid of, it works for me for a lot of things. We cure onions, garlic, we cure winter squash when they're ready on it, sort our pumpkins on there all winter, because we don't really have a good cold storage setup. Even our garage, our winters are kind of weird. Like, they can get cold. I mean, we can get cold. We definitely do have a frost day, but it's not consistently cool enough that it makes like a certain room or certain area safe for being like a cold storage pantry. Or I would love to have my husband dig a root cellar into the ground. I think that's the only way we could actually consistently have it. Or I was talking to a friend of mine who lives in Idaho, and her climate is a little bit colder, but it's kind of similar. Dry heat, times in the winter that are randomly warm days that would not do good in a garage. Like, we'll have like randomly 80 or 90 degree days in February or even January once in a while. Not all the time, but enough that it's just not reliable. And she said they actually put like a little mini split air conditioner into a place in the garage to have cold storage. That for me right now seems a little out of reach, but you know, digging in this hard clay, rocky soil is probably not my husband's first choice either. So we'll see. Right now, that's why some of our places we store food are a little non-traditional. Our main pantry areas in our laundry room, and that gets a little humid, and you really don't want this stuff in super humid-ish places for storage. I wanted to talk to you guys about growing food, and I want to talk to you guys about climates, different climates. I know that in this day and age, it is so awesome to be able to go on YouTube, to go on social media, to see other people growing food. I've learned a lot online. I've learned a lot. We have this amazing community for gardeners in our area on Facebook. It's really the only reason I go on Facebook is this group, because asking people questions who live in my own local climate, and I'm not just talking about California, but like our actual county, is so beneficial because they're battling the same pests, they're dealing with the same weather issues. You know, they're a great resource for which type of variety do best in our particular climate. They deal with the drought issues we do, they deal with the fire danger we do. It's just so different than just being inspired by a gardener online who maybe lives in a completely different zone or area, because like we are zone 9B, and gardeners in Texas and gardeners in Florida, they are also zone 9B, but their challenges they face are totally different than our challenges. Like some of them are dealing with disease and pests from having hot, humid, wet summers. We don't have rain for months and months. So we're dealing with dry heat, not humid heat. It's a totally different issue, and there's different pests, and it's so easy to compare to other people. And that's kind of what I want to talk about for a moment, because I find myself even watching these amazing gardening videos, getting a lot of inspiration. And then I just noticed this thing kind of in my subconscious, noticing that in between their garden rows, it's green. They're like growing clover or grass that they have to mow. In the background of their gardening and their gardens and their chickens is like green. And that's because their climate has rain in the summer. If we were to have our field, our whole back field green, it would cost thousands of dollars to irrigate it, because we don't have a well and water here is not cheap. Even just trying to water our fruit trees, keep our pool full, basic water needs for a family of 9. Water the garden. We do water the front with sprinklers now that our water restrictions are over, but it's not actually grass, it's more like weeds. But the way that we decided to set up our fruit trees and stuff, we put it into landscaping. So versus hauling a bucket of water really far, which we do on occasion, especially when we were on severe restrictions, we go ahead and run the sprinklers some. It does help, like the geese have places to dig for bugs. We have a lot of birds because of it being watered out front. It helps our trees bloom beautifully, and it waters our fruit trees, and just a whole wonderful thing of keeping a little bit of moisture in the air. But we don't water the back at all, not even just the regular backyard. So all that to say, I can't compare with people who get rain. I mean, some of you don't have irrigation in your garden, and you might look at my garden and go, wow, she can afford all this drip irrigation, and look at her bubblers and how I wish I had those. But guys, if I was to water with a hose every day in 114 degrees, the amount of water evaporation there would be, inefficient watering, loss, the amount of time, it would be unreal, because we don't have any rain for 3 or 4 months. We're a Mediterranean climate, so we are lots of rain. That's like our winter, not snow, but it's more like rain. And then dry, very dry. We have a lot of fire danger. For the amount of time we've owned this property, we have been evacuated at least once a year. That's not fun. That's something I don't enjoy about being here. I love that we can grow food year round, but I look so forward to the winter garden, not because those are my favorite foods. I love tomatoes, I love peppers. You guys, if you've watched any of my videos, you know how much I love peppers and tomatoes, but I have to pay for irrigation. But in the winter, I can grow brassicas, I can grow peas, I can grow root veggies, I can grow lettuce, and pretty much can turn the sprinklers completely off because we get rain. Y'all get rain in the summer, so you have different pests, but you have these beautiful backgrounds of your gardens online. Beautiful, like enviable. And so I just wanted to take a moment as we're working on my garlic and just take a moment of gratitude for where I live and where I grow and the fact that I can grow so many wonderful things that fly year round, but our issues are different. And it's okay that the background of my garden is, I like to call it golden and not brown. It is kind of brown, but it's golden. It's golden California, right? It's dry and it's hot and this fly wants to get me. But yeah, some of you might have wondered, like, why do they have wood chips down and why is it so dry beyond the garden fence? And that's because of where we live. Our climate is so interesting. We had some young adult guys who just moved here to be a part of our church, and one of them asked my son one day, he goes, I don't think it has rained since I moved here. When's it gonna rain? And when's it gonna cool down? And my son was like, oh man, it doesn't rain in the summer. Now he's from the South, so he's used to rain in the summer. He's used to hot, humid climates. Oh no, you're not gonna get any rain here for a long time. So yeah, just wanted to share that with you. I honestly was like, to be totally vulnerable with you guys, I was a little insecure sometimes when I watch my own videos and I watch others and going, wow, my garden is so lush and beautiful, but the beyond my garden, the beyond the garden fence is dry. And I look at some of your videos with beautiful clover and just like so green, like a green that is beyond what I've ever experienced. It's amazing. You guys have it amazing. And yeah, we all are in different climates. You might have a lot of squash bugs. That's something that we don't deal with a lot here, which is pretty great, but we deal a lot with like spider mites. Oh my goodness. I was looking at my loofah leaves yesterday when I was checking the garden. I thought, that really looks like spider mites have put their eggs into the leaf, and that is a bummer. They totally attack my calendula every summer, where it looks like my calendula has died in the peak of the summer. It always comes back happy when the temps drop, but spider mites really, really like hot, dry climates. And so that's a pest that we have. We have aphids all the time. I know a lot of you have aphids, but we have so many aphids, sometimes even in the winter, if it's not a very wet or cold winter, we have aphids. And you know, that's when you're not supposed to have a lot of pest pressure, but it's just the dry climate here. It's just a different kind of climate. So that's my thoughts on climate. And I want to encourage you to be thankful for your climate. If you have a place where it rains and you don't have to water, be thankful for that, because those of us here are like, wow, I wish I had a place I didn't have to water. If you are a place like me that is warm enough in the winters that you get to garden year round, but you're really dry or hot in the summer, be thankful, because a lot of people, they wish they could grow food all winter long without needing a heated greenhouse or something. So we all have different pluses. We all have different situations, and we all have challenges, and we all have beautiful things that are advantages that we can be thankful for. So just want to leave that with you today. I am so excited about this garlic. It's Spanish red. To try hardneck and haven't grown it before, the scapes are really fun. It's really cool that even though we're hot and even though we're dry, we are able to do both hardneck and softneck here. So I get to enjoy the braids, and I also get to enjoy the scapes, and that's a fun thing. All right, guys, happy gardening. I'm gonna get back to my homesteading chore inside. It's hot today. I do want to get out in my garden. I was out there last night watering a bunch of stuff. I need to tie up my tomatoes really bad. Some of them majorly had growth spurts and then fell over. So I need to do that later, but I'm gonna wait till the temperatures drop off in the evening and there's a little shade in the garden. So inside homesteading chore is the name of the game for me today. Thank you for joining me. As always, if you enjoy our content, we would love to have you subscribe, and just so that you hear about future videos. It always helps us if you comment or you like our video with the like thumbs up button. It just means other people will be able to find our channel who maybe it would be encouraging to, and maybe it would be helpful. I will see you really soon. Have a good day. it.